click is all it takes to lose everything.
We are in a cyber war. You can either be a defendant or you can be a victim.
One of the questions I always get is, are smart doorbells, smart locks, a smart thing to do? Now, I always laugh with the word smart. I don't know how smart it is to have a doorbell that can be turned on, that can be accessed, that can be monitored remotely 24/7. But the point is, are those technically safe? And what it really comes down to is, what is the functionality versus what is the risk? So yes, if I have a doorbell that has a camera and I can go in, and when I'm at work, when somebody rings the doorbell, I can turn on the camera and I can see who it is. I can even talk to them, and in some cases even give a verification. So if a signature is required for a package, they can still leave the package on your doorstep. Now that's great functionality. People love that. I remember when they first came out, people would be on airplanes, they'd be like, check this out, I could look at my front yard and see what my kids are doing, see what my family's doing, and people thought it was a lot of fun. And I remember being on an airplane once when somebody was showing one of their friends this cool feature, and I went in and said, but what if an attacker is accessing that? Now they can look at your children. They can look at the driveway and see whether you're home or not. They can spy on it, and you should have saw the person's face. They were like, I never thought about that. I never realized that risk. And that's really all I want you to do. As long as you're thinking about the risk, recognize and understand the risk, then I'm okay with you accepting it. So if you sat there and said, Eric, I fully recognize that an adversary could potentially remotely access my video camera on my doorbell. They can monitor my kids, they can see my front yard, they can see my cars, and I recognize that risk, and I'm minimizing it by doing a strong password, verifying logins, and limiting who can access it. But the functionality outweighs the risk. We're good. That's all I'm saying. The problem is in cybersecurity, most people never think about the negative. They never think about the impact, and they never think about what could happen. As long as you're willing to accept that risk, we're in great shape and we're off to the races. And I'll give you an example. Amazon in-house delivery. Amazon has special locks that you can put on your door, and when you're not home, the delivery person will go and put the package inside your door. Now, most people go, that's crazy. Who would do that? That's nuts. That's the biggest security risk on the planet. I'm always going to be honest with you. I do it. I have it in my townhouse. Now, a lot of people are like, are you serious, Eric? You're a security professional? Hold on. Let me do the analysis. I live in a townhouse on a fairly busy street. So if packages are left out front for 2 or 3 days, somebody can see it. Somebody could not only know that I'm not home, but they could potentially pick it up. And yes, I've had a few cases where I've had packages go missing. Second, I don't have an overhang, and it rains a lot in Northern Virginia. So I've had many cases where packages were delivered, and I wasn't home for a few days, and by the time I got home, the package was completely soaked, and whatever was inside was ruined or wasn't really usable. Next, I travel a lot. I'm sometimes gone for 1, 2, or 3 weeks, and I'm the only one that's at my townhome, which means that no one is around to let people in. So from my standpoint, knowing that when a package comes, it's going to be put inside, it's not going to be left out in the rain, and it's not going to be left out front for 2, 3, or 4 days, to me that benefit outweighs the risk. Let me explain. With Amazon Home Delivery, they are not allowed inside your house. They open the door, they put the package inside, and they shut the door. Next, they don't have the code. When they go to your door, they take out a device, and somebody gives them a one-time code that only works once, opens the door so they can get in. I also have a camera inside my door, and I get notification. So whenever there's an in-house delivery, I go in and get a text that says someone's coming in the house with the link, and I can turn on the video and watch and see them put the package, lock the door, and I can verify the door's locked. Also, I can turn that off at any time I want. So if I don't want anyone in the house, I can do it. So from my standpoint, the benefits far outweigh the risk. And yes, if a delivery person came in and they started going into my house, I would see on the video camera and I could call the police. Second, I know who it is, right? I have video pictures and Amazon is tracking the delivery person's identity. So to me, yes, it sounds bad. It sounds crazy. But when you really sit there and I actually do this, I take a piece of paper, I draw a line, and whenever I make decisions, I always say, what are the pros? What are the cons? Can I live with the cons? Can I live with the negative? What's the upside? What's the downside? Can I live with the downside? And when I went in, and at first, honestly, I didn't think I was going to do home delivery. But when I laid out all the benefits and the risks, and I looked at ways I could mitigate the risk, for me and my lifestyle and what I do, it seemed like a smart decision. So I will never tell you that something is safe and secure, and I will never tell you whether you should or should not do something. What I will tell you is, what is the benefit you're getting? What are the risks or exposures, and can you live with those risks? And as long as you do that analysis, then depending on your lifestyle and what you do, smart doorbells and smart locks might be a smart thing, or it might be a dumb thing. Do the analysis, know the facts, and then you're making good, smart decisions.